What's going on, people? So, this is a box of shoes right here. You may not want to believe me. If you don't want to, that's fine, but we're going to open it up and then you'll see the truth. At least that's what they told me. I was told that there's shoes in here. That's how that usually works. When you give somebody money, then they give you a tracking number. That's what happens. So, we'll see. Though sometimes it's happened in the past. Some of you may have even seen it right here on this here channel. Once in a while, they do send me something. It's just not the thing that I asked for. I think that's mostly happened with. That's probably Adidas, right? I don't know. But either way, let's go ahead and see what's going on in here. Anybody ever buy from Foot Shop before? It's not my favorite place to buy from, only because it's like overseas, and you end up paying a little bit extra for shipping. I mean, these right here, they were on sale, but then there was like $30 for shipping, so then they kind of weren't on sale anymore. Though, to be fair, they still came out to right under what retail would have been like here in the States. So I think 180 is retail, and I paid like 174 for these all together. So not terrible, I guess. I don't know. Side of the box right there, ultraboost 5, right? Now, not too long ago, I was doing a review talking about ultraboost and whatnot, and I said that I've seen that there's a 5, but every 5 that I've looked up actually was a 5X. And then I started to doubt things, right? Now, obviously, I could have just looked online and whatnot, but I didn't really care to do all that, look for videos. I just figured I'll figure it out later, and here is later. So let's go ahead and open this up. This is going to be an actual Adidas ultraboost 5, right? Not a 5.0. That was a thing a couple years back, which was really just a combination in a lot of times of the 1 through 4 as far as the design goes. But I've done a lot of, well, I won't say a lot, but I've done at least 2 ultraboost 5.0 reviews in the past. I think even an uncaged version, perhaps. Okay, you know what? Right off the top, I'll tell you this. These look a lot better in person than they did online. I was a little unsure about the upper here color, the upper color here. But I think part of that is because of how things played out with the last pair of Volt shoes that I bought. Those Nike Infinity Run Flyknit 4s, right? Either way, let's go talk about these for just a second. Then I'll break out these here 5Xs just off camera and talk about those little comparison thing. Very similar to what happened last night with the foam posits from 2024 and 2016 or 2017, depends how you want to look at it. We're starting with the bottom, people. Down there, same outsole that you've kind of seen before, but if you're not sure, here's that other one. Told you comparison stuff. So that's what the older one, well, the other one, not older one, looked like. Very much the same, right? 5X, 5. Looking over here at the upper, you can't quite tell in the camera, right? Because at least to me, it looks like it's coming out a little washed out. But this is like an actually nice, vibrant Volt green, neon green, whatever you want to call it, color. As far as everything else goes, stitching patterns and whatnot are very much in line with what you saw before. Nice and open up here, stretches out a whole lot. And as you can kind of tell, that goes all the way up into like the tongue area, which is a nice improvement over the previous years. So like the 22, the 21, and the light, which would kind of be the 23. So that goes on there. And then as far as the side goes, that's where things take a bit of a shift. And I saw that as soon as I looked at the picture. Because this, you have an actual cage, which is similar to what they've been doing for the last forever, minus the uncaged, obviously. So you have that happening, right? And then moving on back past that, you have just the standard ultraboost cage, ultraboost, well, Adidas sign on the back. So that's about it as far as that goes. And like I was kind of getting into, this right here is the ultraboost 5X, right? So let's see, the easiest way to do that, turn these around. So as you see, this one has an actual cage on there, whereas over here, it's going to be more so just stripes laid out on it. And they've taken this approach on some of the, like the Adizeros and the 40 forward and something else, I'm pretty sure, that I just can't think of the name of. So obviously, this is probably going to be more comfortable than these, just because when you put your foot in here, you have a little bit more room to spread out, right? This, you're kind of going to be locked in just a little bit. It also does make it a smidge heavier, right? Is it going to be a noticeable difference? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. These both seem to be weighing about the same for the most part, right? So, I mean, it's just here. And it is kind of a thicker plastic. So you can tell that this is the heavier pair. But wearing them, you're probably not going to notice so much, but I'll talk about that at some point when I can talk about it intelligently. But otherwise, that's pretty much the overall thing here. As far as like the midsole goes, it still has like the same look, right? Same little indentions in the side. There you go, there's that. And as I was saying, the stitching patterns are both going to be the same. It's a little easier to see on the green pair just because of the way that is, but otherwise everything here looks to be very much the same. So let's take a quick look on the inside. All you have down in there is going to be the ultraboost thing, right? So that's pretty much that. I'm not wearing the greatest socks to really speak on how these are going to fit, but because I have the compression socks on right now for no real reason, it just made, for some reason, when I was getting dressed this morning, I was like, oh, I'm going to put these on today because I, for some reason, thought that made sense. It didn't. I didn't need these at all. So wearing these right now, they feel fine, right? I got no complaints about them. Probably slip this other pair on real quick just to do a comparison. But the one thing, like I was saying, you obviously are going to feel this cage on the side, whereas on the other pair, probably not so much, but I'll give you a little update on that in just a second once I slip this thing on. And yeah, it's, even though it's like a minor difference, right? It's definitely like significantly more comfortable, excuse me, in these right here in the 5X. Just not having that cage out there, just leaning up on your foot or whatever. It just feels better. It feels just more natural, like a normal sock would feel or something, you know? So this right here, I'm not going to say these are bad, but I can see me not liking them as much. And especially when I go running in these, I feel like that's going to be a factor that I think about. But I like this color a whole lot. I just wish it would have been a 5X color. So we'll see how that goes, because right now the 5X colorways are slim pickings, people. Very slim, and mostly not great, to be completely honest. But otherwise, one thing that I'm just kind of noticing on here, another issue is on the side. When you look between those swooshes, between those stripes, you do see like the perforations, right? On here, these don't really seem to have that. Even looking from the inside, it doesn't seem like that's going to be in there, which sucks because you get a lot of breathability from the side here, which is good because, you know, you want something like that. So not only is this going to be heavier and more restricting on your foot, it's also going to be a little bit warmer to wear. So all in all, these, I'm pretty sure like I'm not going to dislike them, but if you have a choice of going with a 5 or a 5X and you don't care so much about the color, go with the 5X. That's how I'm standing. That's where I'm standing right now. I'll do the full review at some point, and at that point I'll have walked around in these a little bit, and then I'll do the normal follow-up at some point later. But I don't see my opinion changing because I just don't. You know what I'm saying? But it's unfortunate in some ways because, again, like I really like the way they look. I just wish I liked the way they were actually made a little bit more. But it's good to know that other than that, they should feel the same, right? So is it going to like drastically decrease my run times or anything like that, or increase them, I should say? Unlikely. It's just going to make me not care for them as much. But anyway, so there you go. Quick little thing. Also, this color, what was this called? Like lemons? No, that's this box. Actually, no, that is the right one. Lucid lemon is what they call this. So something like that, which lemon doesn't really come to mind personally, but that's what they went with. So whatever, Adidas is going to do what Adidas is going to do. But as far as shoe things go, as far on this live, that concludes that portion of it, right? As I often do, I have some other stuff to talk about that I'm actually like kind of looking forward to, really. So yesterday I did the same thing as I just did here with the foam posit thing, which I like foam posits, sure, but like I wasn't like excited about those. It's not like a model that really defines me as a person or something. More so these running shoes do that. So it was just kind of like just another day of just rambling on about something just to kind of say some thoughts. But today, it's Wednesday, comic book day, right? And actually, I've been needing one of these. So this right here, it's a comic book box, obviously. Wolverine, 50 years since he like made his debut or whatever. And turning this around, that's the other side of it right? Kind of like the R-rated almost thing because he's got the bloody claws. On the top just says Wolverine, nothing on the bottom. So yeah, I've been buying a lot of comic books lately, and so I kind of am at the point where I need one of these because I've just been having them stacked, but a lot of them are in those little plastic sleeves, and they get a little slippery, you know? They don't stack so well after a bit. And I was at this comic book shop today because it's Wednesday. That's the day the new comics come out, mostly. And so I figured I'll just show you the ones that I picked up today. It's not a whole lot of variety in this one. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I think this is just telling you some upcoming comics and stuff. The guy at the store usually gives me these just to kind of make me come back, I guess. But at this point, I think he's probably caught on that I'm coming there every Wednesday just to buy random stuff. So we're going to start with these. We'll do this one last because I like it the most. Dazzler, her comic book came out today. It's going to be a short run. I think only maybe somewhere between like 5 and 12 issues. I can't remember how many, but not like an ongoing series, right? It has an end already. So this is one of the covers, right? Got that. They also did this one here where she's kind of like laying on the floor listening to like the boombox and whatnot, right? Because if you're familiar with Dazzler, you kind of know how she works. Got this one where she's singing. Got the little sparklies in the background and whatnot. So, and for the record, these are all the same, right? It's all issue number 1, just different covers. They've been doing a lot of Godzilla covers for things lately. I'm not sure exactly why, but Godzilla has been making his comeback in the Marvel universe. They often do these things too, where like they are completely blank. But if you ever meet the people who like drew the normal covers or wrote the stories, it's good for getting them autographed or signed or whatever. That's why they have all that open white space. So I'll save that for that rainy day should that ever come around. I was not a huge fan of I can't think of what they call this style where like it's kind of like the window thing. But I'm not a huge fan of it. But the reason I bought it is because I bought all the other covers that they had. So I figured I may as well just complete the set. Last, certainly not least, they did do a foil cover. So that's her in her older style, if you remember that from like the early video game. And it does have like a nice shimmery background because, like I said, it is a foil one. And so there you go. Like I said, these are all the same issue. It's all just Dazzler number 1 with different covers. Was there a real reason to buy all these? No, it isn't. Not even a little bit. But I'm a fan of the lady, right? So I did. Same as I did with like X Factor and something else that came out recently. I like stuff. If the art looks cool, I'm going to buy it because why not, right? When you live like on your own or whatever, and you don't have like a wife or kids, you just do stuff like that. Your money just goes in random places and you just don't think too much about it. At least that's how I live. I don't know if anyone out there can relate. Maybe, maybe not, whatever. So there you go. There's that. Covered everything I needed to cover. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. As usual, this is the point where if you have some kind of question for me, this is where you're going to get some kind of response. So you put it in that little box down there. I will then respond to it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave once I'm done getting this whole thing wrapped up. Maybe I'll watch a little bit more Dynamite here. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. One thing that I just thought about, on roosevelts.com, they did do a restock today, so they got a lot of Transformers shirts that came back in. This is one of them. Maybe not that side, but you can kind of tell it's like got like the flowers, and then deep in there, if you look around in the right areas, you'll see Grimlock and some other people poking through. It's kind of a cool shirt. There's other ones on there. rsvlts.com, all in that order. Put that in your favorite browser, and you'll see some shirts that you probably like for a price that you may not like, but I think they're worth it. Do whatever you want to do with your money. There we go. That's everything. Nothing in the comments? Fantastic. That means I'm done. So find this end stream button. There it is. Later, people.